Welcome back. Previously, we were discussing about ratio analysis. In ratio analysis, we have dealt almost different categories of ratios that are classified on the base of functions. And by the end of that module, we were dealing with preparation of financial statement on the basis of ratios given in the case as well as additional informations. So we have come to the end of the module. So today we are going to discuss about the limitations of ratio analysis. Even though it has many possibilities regarding the analysis of financial statement of an organization, it too has its own demerits because ratio analysis is based on the data given or from the financial statements, and the financial statements or the accounting statements has its own inborn demerits. So such demerits are transferred to the ratio analysis itself. So today we are going to discuss about some of the major limitations in ratio analysis. First limitation, limitations of financial statement. It is the first and the foremost limitation or a demerit in ratio analysis. In the beginning, we have learned that ratio analysis is the analysis of financial statements. Financial statements or the accounting statements has its inborn demerits. So, ratio analysis is prepared on those financial statements which have its own demerits. So, such demerits are transferred to the ratio analysis itself. Financial statements are the basis used for ratio analysis. As I have told earlier, these financial statements have certain inherent limitations. You have learned those limitations at the beginning of accounting. In the earlier classes, you have learned what are the limitations of accounting. So, such limitations are transferred to the ratio analysis also. There include historical nature of data, accounting conventions, personal judgments, and demerits of financial statements comprises of all these areas. Therefore, the ratios worked out on the base of those financial statements also are subjected to these limitations. The concept is simple. Ratio analysis is based on the financial statements. Financial statement has its inborn limitations. So those limitations are automatically arrive at or come to the ratio analysis statements. Next one, lack of proper standards. As we have discussed earlier, each ratio has its own yardsticks or scales. For example, current ratio has a universal standard of 2:1. Liquid ratio has a standard of a universal standard, as well as some of the ratios have its universal standards, but most of this time, in most of the ratios, it doesn't have a universal standards. If you go through the previous theories, you can see that in some ratios it is given that if the ratio, if you come up with, if you end up with a ratio, higher ratio, it means it will be good. If you come across a lower ratio, it will be bad. Only that much information is given. There is no scale regarding from what point it is high ratio or from what point it is low ratio. There is no such information. A mere information of higher ratio and lower ratio doesn't give a proper understanding regarding which ratio is considered to be higher or lower. So, meaningful interpretation of ratios can be made only when the ratios are compared with the appropriate standards. And such standards for are very limited for ratios which have come under the discussion. In many cases, there are no universal standards accepted for comparison. Most of the cases, we are learning that if the ratio is higher ratio, it will be good. If the ratio is lower ratio, it will be bad. Depends upon the ratio which we are discussing. Higher ratio and lower ratio does not give a proper understanding. In most of the cases, there doesn't give any proper scale or numerical value that depict a standard. That is another important demerit of a ratio analysis. Next one, problems of window dressing. As we all know, what is meant by window dressing? You have learned the term numerous times in your previous classes. Financial statements may be manipulated to show a better financial position. Therefore, the ratios must be interpreted with caution. It must be noted that an outsider cannot easily verify whether the financial statements are window dressed or not. Even after all these measures and auditing activities, still window dressing is practiced in almost all of the organization. Some sort of window dressing will be there in some of the organization, even after all these auditing practices. So that's a demerit. Even after doing all these ratios and analysis, you have learned many ratios. As an outsider may use any of the ratios for studying the organization's effectiveness or efficiency. If the window dressing is going in the background, then what is the use of this ratio analysis? So, problems of window dressing is an issue in ratio analysis. Next one, ignoring non-financial information. That is the main demerit in financial statements or accounting. As we all know, accounting is a statement that deals with financial information or information which consisting of fact and figures. No such information regarding qualitative aspect or non-financial information is taken into consideration in financial statement. The same issue persists in ratio analysis also. Ratio analysis also ignores non-monetary and non-financial information such as qualitative information as in financial accounting. Therefore, the interpretation based on ratio analysis alone may not be valid in certain cases. Because in some cases, the performance or efficiency or effectiveness of an organization depends on qualitative information rather than quantitative information. And ratio analysis doesn't provide any sort of information regarding qualitative aspects. Next one, inappropriate selection of ratios. We have learned a numerous ratios that are classified on the basis of functions. The ratio selected for analyzing a particular aspect should be appropriate to the purpose of the analysis. The wrong selection of ratios or wrong variables used in a ratio may lead to misleading interpretations. Since there are numerous ratios, you have to select the ratio very cautiously depending upon the nature of the study. If you want to study liquidity of an organization and if you are using solvency ratios, you will never ever get the proper scale or measure for the organization's performance. So you have to be very cautious regarding selection of ratios, and wrong selection of ratio will give disastrous information. That is a main issue in ratio analysis. Next, bias in interpretation. As we all know, after conducting analysis of each statement using various ratios, you will end up with various numerical terms that may be represented in ratio, percentage, or in times. So there is a chance that the same ratio may be interpreted in different ways by different persons. The analysis may be computed by the persons may be the same, but at the end the interpretation is done by the person who is conducting the analysis, and that person is a human being, and human beings are subjected to bias regarding judgment. The judgment of one person may not be the same for the another person, even though the ratio remains the same. Therefore, ratio may be used as only one of the means of interpretation. It should be supported by other evidences or analysis. A mere judgment or mere analysis of single ratio doesn't give a proper or full-fledged analysis of an organization. Every ratio analysis should be supported by evidences or more ratio analysis. Next one, not comparable. Even though the ratio analysis are prepared for comparisons, it may not be suitable for comparing two entities with different nature and size of business and with different accounting policies. As you all know, there are different, even though the accounting procedures are similar, the accounting policies might change depending upon the nature of the organization. For example, depreciation has 2 or 3 methods, and the organization we are trying to compare, if they are following two different types of depreciation patterns, definitely their profit amount will be different. So how we are going to compare two different organizations on the basis of ratio analysis? That's the one major issue regarding ratio analysis. So you can rely upon full on ratio analysis for analysis or comparison between organization where the entity is following different accounting policies. So that's an issue. Next one, ignoring price level changes. As in the preparation of financial statements, ratio analysis also ignores changes in price levels. Therefore, ratio analysis will be useful only when there is no significant change in price levels. In the present business situation, the price level can't be stable for a long period of time. It keeps on change. So, we can't rely always upon ratio analysis because ratio analysis doesn't consider the change in price levels, and the price level changes is a very relevant factor in the today's dynamic external business environment. So without considering price level changes means we can't 100% rely on ratio analysis. That is another issue that comes under ratio analysis. So these are the major limitations that comes under ratio analysis. Even though it is a recently developed method and it consisting of numerous number of ratios that help in analyzing the organization's effectiveness, efficiency, performance, it too has its demerits. As we all know, it is a part of accounting, and accounting itself has its inborn demerits. And the same demerits are transferred to the ratio analysis because ratio analysis is mainly depending upon financial statements. Apart from those demerits, it too has its own. Ratio analysis also has its own demerits. So we were discussing about those demerits and understanding each factors that causes the demerits within the ratio analysis. There are numerous demerits within ratio analysis, but within that, these are the major issues that persist in ratio analysis. So after going through all these demerits, you have to refer different books for analyzing other demerits that persist in ratio analysis, and try to add more points within this heading, because sometimes you may come across a question where you may ask to briefly explain or explain in detail the demerits of ratio analysis. So don't rely on these 8 points. You need to add more points depending upon the nature of the question. So try to add more points by referring text or internet, whatever the source you can access. So that's all for today. Thank you.